are past and present scholarship recipients from Downbeat Magazine, the National Foundation for Advancement in the Arts, the Gold Coast Jazz Society, and the International Trumpet Guild. The FIU Studio Jazz Big Band. Is the FIU Studio Big Band. And I am here with Professor Jim Hacker. How you doing, Jim? Good morning.
Doing well, thank you. Thank you for having us. Good to be here this morning.
Absolutely great to have you here. And that we have two pieces at the beginning, one a new classic and one an old classic. Want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the first tune was actually Sidewinder. It's an Ed Calle composition called Por de Lado, I think is how it's pronounced. Great musician, great friend of mine, and gave us that chart to play. Featured a couple guys that featured Derek on guitar. I'll get all the names in just a minute so you can get an idea who you're listening to today, and Matthew on the alto, and then also Gabriel on the drums over there. After that, we did a traditional piece, Basie, from the Basie Big Band called Basie Straight Ahead. That featured Tyler here on the piano, as well as our tenor sax player, Isaac, over there. So I'll get to all the names in just a little bit. But yeah, it's good to be here. Hope you enjoy it. We got a pretty good mix of tunes to play for you for this first concert that we're doing on Thursday. I know you'll get into that a little bit with the guest artist.
Yes.
So we're going to do a few of these tunes on that concert, as well as a number of tunes with our guest artist that I'll let you announce in a little bit.
All right, sounds good, Jim. And why don't you tell us a little bit, first of all, about yourself, and then about this band as well.
Well, I've been in Miami. I came down here to go to school in the mid-'80s and started working as a trumpet player, and just pretty much stayed. I started teaching at FIU part-time around 1995. I was doing just trumpet and brass choir and chamber group as well. And then they made me full-time in 2006, where I was able to have more opportunity to be here more often, a couple classes that they had me start teaching at that point. And then in 2010, we needed a new big band director. So a lot of my work in town, I try to do a lot of different things. I do some classical stuff with some orchestras. I do a lot of recording sessions, do some shows, really anything. I try to do as many different things as I can to stay busy as a working musician in addition to my teaching. So I had a lot of experience playing with big bands, and so I started doing the band at that point in 2010. So it's been a lot of fun. Had a lot of great experience with great players here, both in school and just professionally in town with other musicians here. So yeah, just trying to bring that to FIU to kind of prepare students here. Some of our students are education majors, so they're going to be in a school working with bands and trying to give them as good of an experience as I can as far as how to run a band, how to prepare a band for a concert, picking music, picking different repertoire and so forth. Then also some of our guys are performance majors and want to go out and work more. So they need to be kind of just comfortable reading charts, first of all, to be prepared. And a lot of that goes along with that, being on time, starting rehearsals on time, being prepared for the tune, wearing what you're supposed to wear. There are a lot of things that go along with being a professional musician, in addition to just playing, trying to teach that to them as well, so that when they get out, or even while they're here, I know a lot of them are working, that they have an opportunity to really, to work, and then also to get called back, if they're doing a good job and they're doing all the things that responsible professionals will do, hopefully, in addition to their playing, which obviously is the most important thing, but that they'll get called back and be able to work, because I know a lot of these guys are working already, and I'm trying to create, possibilities for them to work even more. It's what they want to do. So
Fantastic. And yeah, that as a musician, it's always easy to get that first gig, but to get the call back.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
one of the things. And apart from that, any other goals, anything you're trying to instill in musically with the big band?
I think just trying to prepare them as best I can and do what I can do, as long as with the other faculty members, with a great education in music, like whether it's teaching, performing, or both, or some of our people, a couple people in the band are not even music majors at this point. They just are great players, enjoy playing, and are willing to work for us. So, it's an audition-based ensemble. So, if you're a great player, you can still play in the band, play in the other ensembles as well, depending on what the need is. But most of our people, I think, are majors here. Any business majors? I don't think we have music business here or not, but a lot of different majors at FIU that are represented.
So if a student wanted to join the band, all they need to be is an FIU student?
Yeah, and you just basically email me. It's based on availability, and if we have the full band right now, we've got 5 trumpets, we've got 4 bones and 5 saxes, so we're set. But people graduate. Our music education majors go in and do student teaching. So when they're doing that, they're not able to take regular classes at the university, so they'll be gone. So that's just kind of the way it works at university. People are there for a while. They do their however many years to get their degrees. Sometimes we have transfer students come in as juniors, so they really only be with us for maybe a year and a half or 2. So yeah, there's openings usually every semester, and there's usually people just waiting to get in, fortunately, that want to be a part of this band. I try to treat it as much of it as like a pro band as I could, or as I can. We get different levels sometimes of players, and some people have to work more, but it seems like most people are always up to the challenge, because we're all kind of like a family. We all try to do our best and try to encourage each other to work.
Yeah, and apart from Thursday, well, we all had to deal with COVID, and we're just all getting back to actually performing now. What other performances are in the books? Anything else set up?
We've got a couple of things. Well, on Thursday, this coming Thursday, we're playing for the FIU Music Festival with
Delphio Marsalis.
Yes, Delphio is coming in as a jazz trombonist, going to play with us. The jazz faculty is going to play with Delphio as well. And we'll do a few things, just the band, to kind of get the show started. We'll also do another concert in the end of November, where we're going to not only feature the band, but feature some of our jazz vocalists as well, playing with the band, give them like a chance to play with a big band. A lot of times vocalists maybe play with a combo or something like that. So it's, from what I talk to them, they always enjoy doing this. It's a rush for them to get to play with a big band, sing in front of that. So we'll probably have 4 or 5 students that are singing with us that night. We've got another thing, kind of a benefit or a foundation, I think, event that's happening in December, where we'll have like a 1920s kind of band that's going to be put together for that. So yeah, just a few things for that, and then our regular concerts in the next semester as well for the spring.
Where we also hope to have you back then.
Yeah,
in the
okay.
spring.
We'll get a date on the books.
And finally, do you want to give a shout out to all the musicians now, or did you want to play some?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just real quick introduce them, and then I'll give us some more time for music. So some of the soloists that you've heard are in these names, but our alto sax is Mr. Matthew Stevens. He soloed a little bit, and Eddie Urena. You give them a wave, guys. I think they got the camera on you there. Tenor sax is Isaac Nyman and Mario Portella. Our bari sax player, Victor Perez, over there. Yep. Trombone, starting in there. Lead trombone is Mr. George Nesmith. And to his right is Matthew Proano, Clarice Procianos next to him. And then our bass trombone player, Marcos Pereira. trumpet players in the back there, I guess the left to right is Bruno Osega. Next to him is Jeriel Vasquez, one of our lead players. Other lead player, Matthew Chania, one of our soloists here. The next two guys a little bit of soloing as well, Ivan Lucia and Justin Dixon. And then our fabulous rhythm section. First of all, on the piano is Tyler Williams. You heard him solo a little bit ago. Felipe Castillo, a new freshman, came in this year. Glad to have him. Our bass player, Eric Lynch. And then drums, Gabriel Placido, is that correct? Yeah, Gabriel Placido. That last names are a little bit of a challenge for me on occasion, but do my best. Gabriel Placido, and then our guitar player you heard a little bit solo is Derek Sanguino. So, yeah, ready for some more music?
I think we are. What are we going to hear next?
All right, next we're going to play The Crook. It's an original composition by a good friend of mine, Mr. Tom Garling, trombone player. We were in school together. Loved playing this tune, and I think the guys enjoy it as well. So this is The Crook.
All right. And this is the FIU Studio Jazz Band, and under the leadership of Professor Jim Hacker. listening to a live performance in the WDNA Jazz Gallery of the FIU Studio Jazz Big Band under the direction of Professor Jim Hacker, here on the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM. Please stick around. We'll be right back after these messages. This week, Florida International University's Herbert and Nicole Wertheim School of Music and Performing Arts presents as part of the FIU Music Festival 2022, first of all, on Thursday, October 27th at 7:30 p.m. at the Wertheim Concert Hall. It'll be Jazz Party Kickoff with Delfeo Marsalis. Grammy Award-winning trombonist Delfeo Marsalis of the legendary Marsalis family is opening the FIU Music Festival for a New Orleans-style jazz party not to be missed. He will join our very own FIU Faculty Jazz Quartet and, of course, the band you're hearing today, the FIU Jazz Big Band, for a party like no other, featuring music from his latest album, Jazz Party. Jazz Party embodies the ebullient and cheerful characteristics of the New Orleans community. The next day, Friday, October 27th at 7:30 p.m. at Flower Comer Hall, Opera Gala Concert with Santa Fe Opera stars. Santa Fe and Miami musicians will sweep you off your feet with an evening of music by Italian opera composers. The Wertheim School of Music and Performing Arts is proud to partner with famed #1 summer opera festival in the country, Santa Fe Opera, for an enchanted evening of opera and hors d'oeuvres. Love bel canto? Come celebrate some of the most Italian famous opera arias written from Rossini to Bellini, along with opera courses from Donizetti and Verdi, accompanied by the FIU Chamber Orchestra and led by Professor and Maestro Javier Jose Mendoza. On Saturday, October 29th at 7:30 p.m. at the Wertheim Concert Hall, Angels and Devils, Kaufman and Stravinsky. This special evening features two emotional works by composers Frederick Kaufman, Jacob's Wrestling with the Angel, and Igor Stravinsky, L'Histoire du Soldat. That takes us on a journey in which we must face our angels and demons, leading to an inevitable state of grace or downfall. Frederick Kaufman's Jacob Wrestling with the Angels is a work for cello and viola based on the biblical story of Jacob and his desire to be blessed. And this is a Florida premiere. Igor Stravinsky's L'Histoire du Soldat, A Soldier's Tale, is regarded as one of the most important and influential chamber works of the early 20th century. A demanding score meant to be read, played, and danced by actors, dancers, and accompanied by a septet of instruments, it tells the tale of a soldier on leave from the army who trades his old violin for a magic book that can tell the future and make him rich. And also on Sunday, October 30th at 4 p.m. in the Wertheim Concert Hall, virtuoso organist Alcee Chris III, first prize and Bach Prize winner at the 2017 Canadian International Organ Competition, Alcee Chris III is widely regarded as one of the leading young organists of our time. Previous competition awards include the Firmin Swinen Silver Medal at the 2016 Longwood Gardens International Organ Competition, first prize and audience prize at the 2016 Fort Wayne National Organ Competition, and first prize and audience prize at the 2014 Miami International Organ Competition. A lot of organ competitions. Mr. Chris was a featured star in the PBS documentary Pipe Dreams in 2019. Dr. Chris is also active as a church musician, guest lecturer, and remains engaged with his lifelong love of gospel and jazz music. He also serves on the editorial board of Vox Humana magazine. For these and many more exciting events, you can find information at fiu.universitytickets.com. And now, back to our show with the FIU Studio Jazz Big Band under the direction of Professor Jim Hacker.
All right, this is Blackbird Special, one of the tunes we'll do with Delfeo on Thursday. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Jim, I think we have time for another one before we can close out. So, what do we got next? What's it called?
Blue Orleans, this is a Les Hooper composition.
Okay, fantastic.
You've been listening to the FIU Studio Jazz Big Band under the direction of Professor Jim Hacker on the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM. I've been your faculty host, Dr. Russ Spiegel, and along with our executive producer, Dr. Karen Falas, I'd like to thank our crew of FIU graduate students, Samantha, Josephine, V, Gabrielle, Jerry, and Christian, and Rudy, and WDNA's sound and tech wizard, Alex Aldrich, for whom, without him, we couldn't do this show. And, of course, the staff of WDNA 88.9 FM for today's broadcast. If you would like more information on all our programs, make sure to call 305-348-2896 or simply like our Facebook and or Instagram page to stay up to date with all our upcoming performances. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure to join the FIU Music Hour for more great music every Tuesday, 11 a.m. to noon. Thanks again to our guests. And Jim, what is the last piece we're going to hear today?
Here, Thad Jones, Quietude.
Quietude by Thad Jones. Jim, we have about a minute left. Do you have something quick you can play?